Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hello and welcome. My name is Megan and it's lovely to have you guys here. Today's video is going to be all about RDLs. I haven't really done a video specific to one exercise before, but I feel like this is an exercise that I get DMs about, comments about all the time, and it's like, am I doing the RDLs right? How do you do RDLs? What are your tips for them, etc. So I felt like sitting down and doing a YouTube video would be more helpful than doing like a reel with no verbal communication of how to do something. I'm a very visual learner, but I also need a lot of cues, like verbal cues, and so I feel like this is a good way to encompass both. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the form at the gym, and then I'm going to be voicing over and talking you guys through key points and key things that really help me learn how to do the RDLs properly. There are a lot of common mistakes that you guys can make when doing RDLs, but honestly, they're very quick fixes. Things like, shrugging at the top, things like using your arms when you don't need to, things like not understanding a hip hinge. There's so many different components to an RDL that make it seem super complex, but once you get that down, you're gonna have it and you're gonna be solid no matter what. And something else that I wanted to do in this video, one, to make it longer, but two, to make it more accessible to everybody, is showing you guys different RDL variations based on the equipment that you have available. So not everyone can be at a gym with a barbell, or not everybody can maybe lift a barbell. Not everyone maybe likes barbells and they want to use dumbbells, or they only have dumbbells. Maybe you only have a singular kettlebell. I'm going to be showing you guys 4 different variations, so I'm going to show you guys how to do it with the barbell, with dumbbells, with kettlebell, and with the landmine. The landmine is something newer that I've learned how to use, and honestly I feel like learning how to do it with the landmine first might have been easier than jumping right into trying to use dumbbells or the barbell. Everything has, a strength and a weakness to it. Some things are going to make it easier, some things are going to be harder based on stability, balance, whatever it may be. I got you guys with all the tips. I'm going to run through those 4 variations, but the most important thing to understand is that the principle behind a RDL is that hip hinge, and it's not going to change no matter what type of weight you're using. So it's not like, oh, the barbell is most effective and the kettlebell is not effective, or dumbbells are more effective. At the end of the day, it's all going to be effective if you're doing it correctly, loading it correctly, and over time overloading it. You can do whatever one you're most comfortable with, whatever one you feel like you get the most activation from, or whatever you have available. I know with COVID, a lot of people lost accessibility to a gym. They don't like going back to a gym, or maybe you just don't feel comfortable in a gym, but you do have some equipment at home. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to make it work no matter what you have. I really hope that this video is helpful, and I hope that this style of video is something that you guys enjoy. I wasn't sure about it, so hopefully it works out well. But if it is something that you enjoy, and there's another movement that you would want me to do something like this with, I would be more than happy to. I'm going on break. Tomorrow is my last final. I'm getting this workout done quickly, and then I'm studying all day, packing to go home, and then I'll be home for a whole month with no other commitments than grad school applications and YouTube and content creation and everything. So I'm super excited to focus more on this. So if you have requests, that would be the perfect time to ask for them, because I'm going to have a lot of creative freedom, a lot of time, and I'm going to be going to a gym where it's a lot more appropriate and easy to film without there being a million people there. So I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited to be done with the semester. I need a long break, and I'm sure a lot of you guys relate. Okay, quickly before I go, I'm going to show you guys my gym fit. So my hoodie is from Amazon. I just cropped it. It was like a Gildan $10 hoodie. I just cropped it and left it like that. Then I'm wearing the Renew sports bra by Women's Best, and then the Renew, these were leggings, and so usually I'm a size small in Women's Best, but I don't know if I've just been getting thicker or what, but the small has not been working, so I think I'm going to need to size up to a medium. So these were small, and I was like, okay, maybe if I cut them into shorts, they'll be more comfortable and easy to put on, and they are. So I cut them into shorts, and I hope that they make short options of these, because these are super cute as shorts. We're gonna head to the gym because honestly I don't have that much time to be just lollygagging, so I'm gonna head to the gym and film these clips for you guys, and then I'll edit and voice over everything once I get home. So to start off, I'm going to show you guys some of the common mistakes that people make when doing RDLs, some being shrugging at the top of the rep, pushing your hips through too far, moving way too fast with your reps, not keeping them controlled or bracing your core, doing more of a squat instead of a hip hinge, and lastly, powering the movement through your upper body instead of through the hip hinge. In order to progress all the way to the barbell, it's important to be able to do all of these other ones first. So we're starting off here with just a band around the waist. You can do this without the band around the waist, but I think the band helps to really get that hip hinge down and get that drive forward. But you're just going to be practicing your hip hinge here. So you're going to be pushing the hips back, and the resistance on the band is going to help you to pull forward when you can feel that it's time. I find that to be really helpful in learning the mechanics, and then you can add weight. So then I would add a kettlebell as I did here, and you're going to continue to let let the hips push back as if someone's pulling you by the hips backwards, or as if you're sitting back into a wall and you want your butt to touch the wall but nothing else. As you can see, there's only a slight bend at the knees. Here's a side angle to see how to keep your spine neutral. So as I've said, the key here is just understanding that hip hinge principle, and the rest will kind of follow. But there are little things that I think are helpful for form. Starting out by understanding the stance, you want to have about a shoulder width apart stance, and you want to allow your toes to be pointed a little bit outwards for comfort. And when you're using something like a kettlebell, for example, you want to ensure that the kettlebell is just on a straight path downwards, and you're going to see that when I do a side angle, but you want to just be pushing the hips back with a slight bend at the knee. So in approaching the top and the bottom of the movement, that's when you want to be most conscious of your back. So at the top of the movement, you want to make sure that you're not thrusting all the way forward, hyperextending the spine or the lower back or anything like that. And at the bottom of the movement, you want to make sure that you're not going too far down to the point where your lower back is rounding and causing lower back pain or stress. Very important component of any compound lift is your core. Bracing your core is going to be the most important thing, and that's going to protect you from a lot of injury. Having a strong core is going to help you to power through these movements. So with your core, I like to think about someone punching me in the stomach and how I would brace my stomach, and that's how I brace, and I like to maintain this bracing throughout the entire movement. Here we have a back view of the movement, so you can kind of see those hammies are working, and you can just see it from a different perspective here. You can see the width of my feet apart, and make sure that you have your lats engaged as well. Everything should be really engaged and tight during this movement. Nothing should go loose. Feel comfortable with the kettlebell and you're ready to start to increase the weight, but you're not quite ready for the barbell yet, I would honestly go into a landmine RDL. These are newer to me. I didn't learn these or try these until recently, but as I was trying them, I was thinking, man, I wish I had tried this when I was first learning a hip hinge, because I feel like it really nails it in the head here. You don't have a lot of room to be using your upper body as a swayer. It's staying in one place, so you're really learning that bar path of the bar is just going straight up and down, your arms are staying in one place, and the only thing that is powering this movement is your hip hinge. So as your hips are hinging back, the bar is going down because your upper body is all leaning with it. So you really want to think about that, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize is your upper body isn't doing anything. So if you're having any type of muscular pain or you're feeling it in your upper body muscles, it's because you're overcompensating. Don't shrug at the top. Don't try to use your traps. Everything should be powered by the lower body. Your arms should only be used to grip the bar. So for the setup for this, you're essentially just going to be setting up the same with your feet shoulder width apart, and you want to have the bar in the middle of you. You can use both of your hands gripping one in front of the other and load whatever weight you feel appropriate to use. And it's the same principles and mechanics. You're going to be hip hinging, and I think it's just really nice for learning that bar path and realizing that you're just going straight up and down with it. Once you feel comfortable with this movement, it's time to get into the dumbbells and the barbell. I find that the dumbbell and barbell both have their place in a routine, and I think you should try to do both. With dumbbells, obviously you can use two, or you can do a B stance RDL and just do a one single leg RDL. You could do a single leg RDL with the other leg moving up. There's a lot of variations that you can do with dumbbells, and dumbbells are really easily accessible in a gym in case you don't have access to a barbell. Here's a front view so you guys can see that I'm able to go pretty low without my back rounding or anything like that, but some people don't have this mobility, so just go to the point where you feel it most. You don't need to go all the way to the ground. I think this is something that a lot of people think, is they think they have to be going further down than they do, and as they do, they start to get that lower back pain and recruitment. So you just want to go to the point where you're feeling that stretch but your back is not rounding. That leads to the significance of this clip. If you are using the barbell and you are basically hitting the ground each rep, or you're not able to get full range of motion because of the plates, put yourself on a plate. You can put yourself on 2 plates if you have crazy range of motion. That way the bar isn't tapping the ground. Something that I like about the barbell is it gives you the opportunity to add load over time while also keeping stability. So with dumbbells, it's kind of hard to keep stability as the weight is going up from right to left. To increase the weight on a RDL, you might need to increase your grip by doing a mixed grip, using straps, different things like that, because it is easy for the grip to slip over time. So that's something to keep in mind. Here from the side view, I like that you can see the way that I like to retract my shoulder blades before I start the movement to engage the lats. I find that recording from the side, and honestly any movement that you do, is crucial in seeing if you are doing that movement correctly. As you can see here, you want a straight bar path as much as you can until you get to the top of the rep where your hips are approaching the bar, and you want to ensure that you are properly doing the hip hinge, not bending your knees too much, keeping your core engaged, etc. And I find that the side angle is really helpful for that. But I wanted to finish off with just a front angle of me doing the movement. You can see that I braced my core before I started, and I'm really focusing on getting it to that point where I feel the most engagement. For me, that's about mid to lower shin. And as you can see here, I'm not overextending at the top. I'm not shrugging. This is a solid form, and it's easy to break down in form as it's starting to slip or as it's starting to get hard. But you guys got this, and I really hope this was helpful for you guys, and I love filming it. Y'all, I have never done that many RDLs in my life, but I wanted to get it all filmed out for you guys so that I can just work on the editing and voiceover process once I get home. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope I was able to capture all the angles and everything like that, and hopefully the lighting was okay. That gym, it's not really a gym, it's like a space bubble kind of thing, and so the lighting in some areas is different than the lighting in others, but hopefully you guys were able to see me and see what I was doing, and I'm really happy that I was able to show you guys 4 different variations, because I think it's important to understand that you can do the same movement with different equipment depending on what's available, because I know if you go to a college gym, it's busy all the freaking time and you can never get maybe a barbell, or if you're just not even comfortable yet being in the weight section and you want to be able to take dumbbells with you and go somewhere else, this is the perfect alternative to be able to do that. So I'm happy I was able to show you guys different variations, and I do think that each of these variations has a great place if you're wanting to work up to the barbell but you're not ready yet, because each variation has a place where you can start to step up to the barbell. So I will put them in the order that I feel is best to progress, starting maybe with the kettlebell, then the landmine, and so on. But yeah, this was super fun to film, and I'm really glad I was able to get a real content video up for you guys that's like really informative and really kind of in-depth about one movement. This was the movement that tripped me up the most, other than sumo deadlifts, honestly, when it came to form, because it's not as straightforward as people like to make it seem. They're all like, it's just a hip hinge, but then they don't explain to you guys how to do the hip hinge and what a hip hinge is and everything like that. So I really hope I did a better job than maybe people on Instagram might do. I know that it's really hard, especially as someone who creates content for Instagram, to encompass everything in a sentence or in a video. And for me, whenever anyone DMs me a form video or they DM me with wanting advice, I always send an audio message, because I feel like it's not clear when you just send a few sentences with no explanation. And so audio messages and verbal communication for me, I feel like, are super duper helpful, but the visual component I think is even more helpful, and I'm glad I'll have this video to be able to send to people if they ask me about form advice or anything for RDL. If you like this style of video, please let me know, and let me know what exercise you would want me to do it with next. And if this was helpful to you, please let me know. But if there was anything that didn't make sense, if you need clarification, if you guys want to send me your form, whatever it may be, here's my Instagram. You guys can follow me and message me, and I will be sure to get back to you at some point with some pointers or whatever, because honestly my main goal is always to help people. I feel like I didn't have all these resources when I first started, and that's kind of what I want to be able to do for others. So I hope this video was helpful, but if it wasn't, please feel free to DM me and continue the conversation, because I'm here to help you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're already subscribed, thank you guys for subscribing. I'm so happy to be growing the YouTube family. And if you're not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe if you want more content like this, as well as any college/lifestyle content. I've been loving YouTube. I love to film everything under the sun, so there's plenty of variety for you guys here. But I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!